Near the quiet mountain town of Willow Creek is where two friends captured images of a hairy, bipedal ape-like creature that you might know as Bigfoot. Some believe it was a groundbreaking scientific discovery, and others a legendary hoax.
What if everything you thought you knew about the famous Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film was only part of the story? For many years, people argued about whether the footage was real or fake. But now, Grok AI has taken a fresh look using powerful analysis no human could ever do. It studied every movement, every detail, and every frame with no bias. What it found is both surprising and mysterious. The results do not give a simple answer, but they reveal something deeper hidden in the film. Could this mean the truth has been right in front of us all along? Join us to find out. The mystery deepens. Over the years, various professionals from diverse backgrounds have examined the Patterson-Gimlin film extensively. Specialists in costume design, animal behavior, and cinematography have all closely scrutinized the footage. The video has been enhanced, refined, and scrutinized meticulously, frame by frame. Despite multiple reviews and analyses of every minute detail, there is still no consensus on the true meaning of the film. There are individuals who are firmly convinced that the film is authentic, contending that it provides evidence of a massive, unidentified primate residing deep within the woodlands of North America. According to them, the movements, form, and actions depicted in the footage appear too genuine to be fabricated. Conversely, skeptics are equally convinced that it is a hoax, theorizing that it is merely a person dressed in a suit, deeming it one of the most cunning deceptions ever devised. Both factions persisted in their beliefs for an extended period, unable to definitively discredit the opposing perspective. Over time, numerous specialists attempted to resolve the dispute. Certain individuals claimed that the manner in which the figure moves appears organic and does not resemble any human motion. On the other hand, some contended that a proficient individual could replicate such a motion with significant dedication. Efforts were undertaken to replicate the scenario, but none were able to completely replicate the original video. Despite this, uncertainties persisted. The discussion reached a standstill, with no obvious resolution in sight. In the beginning of 2026, a revolutionary event took place. An advanced AI system was granted access to the most superior and unblemished copy of the movie. Unlike humans, this system was engineered to analyze patterns, motion, and visuals in a unique manner. It meticulously examined every aspect of the footage with precision and thoroughness. The advanced techniques of the system analyzed the movie. It observed the movements of the character, the way light interacted with it, and the shape of its body. Additionally, it made comparisons with various animals. The system monitored motion, analyzed texture, and observed the coordination of body parts. These tasks would require extensive time for humans to perform, and even then, they may overlook crucial elements. Upon the release of the findings, a sense of astonishment swept through the crowd. The system provided a comprehensive analysis, delving into the nuances of the film's authenticity. It highlighted aspects that were previously overlooked or misunderstood. While the results did not settle the dispute, they injected a new level of intrigue and complexity into the discussion. In order to grasp the significance of this issue, it is crucial to delve into the background of the movie. Tales of gigantic, hairy creatures in North America are not a new phenomenon. Prior to being documented on film, various indigenous communities shared stories about these beings. They depicted them as towering, powerful, and shrouded in fur. It was believed that these creatures dwelled in secluded areas, hidden within thick forests and towering mountains. Various factions used different terms to refer to these entities, yet their portrayals bore remarkable resemblances. Accounts detailed beings that traversed on two limbs, towered in stature, and maintained distance from humans. These narratives were not mere entertainment, but rather cautionary tales imparted for guidance and instruction. Individuals were advised to exercise caution and show reverence should they venture far into the untamed wilderness. Afterward, with the arrival of new arrivals in North America, sightings of mysterious occurrences also began to surface. Employees working in isolated areas and forests began to speak of encountering large footprints and hearing peculiar noises during the night. These accounts gradually gained attention and piqued the curiosity of more individuals. Eventually, the notion of such a being became ingrained in mainstream society. During the 1950s, increased focus was drawn to a significant incident. A team operating in a wooded region stumbled upon enormous human-like footprints. These findings were publicized by a writer, leading to the popularization of the term Bigfoot. This development piqued the curiosity of numerous individuals, among them being Roger Patterson. Patterson's intense curiosity drove him to explore the concept of a mysterious creature, delving into research, conversations, and personal encounters with those who had witnessed something extraordinary. Convinced of the possibility of an undiscovered animal inhabiting the wilderness, he penned a book to document and share his investigations and conclusions. However, simply reading and writing did not satisfy him. What he desired was indisputable evidence, something that would grab attention and show that these stories had a basis in reality rather than just being products of the imagination, which led him to venture into the wild. Stay with us. The day everything changed. In October of 1967, Roger Patterson embarked on a new adventure that would eventually gain widespread recognition. He headed to Bluff Creek in the northern region of California, a secluded area known for peculiar sightings and the presence of large footprints. Numerous individuals had previously recounted tales of encountering something out of the ordinary in that vicinity. Convinced that there could be some truth to these accounts, Patterson was determined to witness the phenomena firsthand. He wasn't by himself on the trip. Bob Gimlin, an experienced outdoorsman familiar with the area, accompanied him. Though Gimlin had doubts about Patterson's beliefs in the creature, he decided to join him and offer assistance. Carefully, they gathered their supplies, including food, camping equipment, and Patterson's camera. Loading everything onto their horses, they set off into the depths of the forest. The duo spent days exploring the vicinity, methodically scanning for clues that could bring them closer to their target. During their search, they stumbled upon footprints which Patterson believed were recent, boosting his optimism. Despite this promising discovery, the mysterious creature remained elusive as the silence of the forest continued to surround them. October 20th, 1967 marked a pivotal moment that altered the course of events. On that particular day, Patterson and Gimlin were leisurely traversing the creek bed on horseback. The weather was pleasant, with clear skies and a gentle breeze. Suddenly, as they rounded a curve in the trail, they were confronted with a sight that left them completely stunned. A short distance away, next to some logs on the ground, was a bulky figure. It was hairy and stood on two legs, resembling a person, but definitely not one. The being had a great height and muscular frame. In the future, individuals would claim it was nearly 7 feet tall and appeared to be quite weighty. The creature was entirely concealed by a coat of dark brown or red fur, not remaining stationary, but rather inching along with deliberate strides. The abrupt appearance caused an immediate reaction from the horses, causing Patterson's mount to rear up in fear, throwing him off its back. Although he landed with force, he swiftly regained his footing. Even while caught off guard, Patterson maintained his focus on the reason for his presence. This opportunity had been a long time coming. Without delay, he grabbed his camera, activated it, and initiated filming. He advanced to improve his vantage point of the mysterious being. Gimlin remained mounted on his horse, observing with great interest. The sight before him left him astonished, yet he maintained his composure. He focused intently on the mysterious being, prepared to take action if necessary. Surprisingly, the entity displayed no aggressive behavior or indication of harm. It remained stationary and made no attempt to approach or pose a threat. Patterson continued to film for nearly a minute as the mysterious creature strolled away confidently with graceful, fluid strides. Its motion appeared effortless and unique, leaving the observers in awe. Suddenly, the creature glanced back over its shoulder before resuming its forward march. Its movement was devoid of any signs of apprehension. The creature did not hurriedly flee or sprint away. It nonchalantly strolled off, composed and unwavering, until it arrived at the forest's periphery. Following that, it gradually faded into the dense foliage, abandoning the two men in stillness. Patterson's camera came to a halt once the film concluded. Although the moment had passed, the significance of what he had recorded would soon emerge. The short clip would be analyzed, debated, and deliberated over for numerous years to come. After the animal left, Patterson and Gimlin approached the spot where it had passed. They peered down and noticed distinct footmarks in the muddy earth by the stream. The impressions were substantial and profound, indicating the presence of a sizable entity. Each imprint was lengthy and broad, surpassing the dimensions of an average human foot. The footprints were carefully copied with plaster, so they could be preserved as proof. Afterward, the casts were inspected by different individuals. A few individuals observed that the foot's shape was unlike that of a human foot. It seemed to be more pliable, with a center section that bent in a manner uncommon in humans. The toes appeared to be spreading out more than usual, and the imprint depth indicated an uncommon weight distribution, hinting at an unusual walking pattern. These peculiarities only served to deepen the mystery of the scene they had witnessed. But when the film was released to the world, it brought a wave of controversy around it. What did the world say? Let's dive in. The film that divided the world. Upon the completion of the film's development and its subsequent public viewing, there was an immediate and intense response. Individuals experienced a mixture of astonishment, befuddlement, and interest. The mysterious being captured on camera was affectionately dubbed Patty. It was widely believed from the initial screening that Patty was unlike any creature previously documented. The movie featured a big being who moved gracefully and effortlessly. Its strides were fluid, and its arms swayed gently as it strolled. The coordination between its shoulders and hips gave off a sense of stability. The creature's hair appeared to be soft and agile, not rigid or artificial, moving naturally with its movements. The creature's size and shape were the most striking aspects. It appeared massive and powerful, with a muscular body. It seemed to possess characteristics of both humans and apes, creating a unique and captivating appearance. This intrigued observers who closely observed its unusual form. A particular scene in the movie gained widespread recognition. Referred to as Frame 352, this moment captures the creature turning its head backwards. This quick movement exposed intricate details not seen elsewhere in the film. The partially visible face and clearly defined body shape added depth to the character. Its effortless stance conveyed a sense of ease and authenticity, avoiding any appearance of stiffness or artificiality. For individuals who were convinced of the film's authenticity, this particular scene held significant meaning. They interpreted it as clear evidence of the creature's existence. Conversely, skeptics viewed it as the most persuasive illusion they had encountered. Both factions scrutinized this one shot repeatedly, each attempting to validate their own perspective. The movie gained popularity rapidly, sparking widespread conversations. It was broadcasted on TV and featured in newspapers, prompting viewers to pick a side. Some thought it revealed genuine and unfamiliar information, while others thought it was just a well-executed performance. Fans of the movie highlighted the authenticity of the visuals, noting that the creature's movements were uncannily smooth and unlike anything human. Additionally, they praised the natural appearance of the hair and body shape. Costume experts were baffled by the level of realism in the suit, questioning how it could have been constructed using the limited resources of that era. They also observed the way the muscles appeared to shift beneath the skin, giving the illusion of a genuine, living body rather than something merely being worn as clothing. Such intricacies convinced them of its authenticity, making it difficult to accept that it was artificial. Skeptics, however, held firm opinions of their own. They were of the belief that it was merely an individual dressed in a costume. They raised doubts about Patterson's motives, suggesting he may have been seeking fame or accomplishments. Additionally, they were puzzled by the fact that he had a camera readily available at the opportune time. In the past, some believed that talented individuals could produce impressive costumes despite the limitations of that era. They thought that, with sufficient dedication, it was possible to craft an outfit that appeared authentic enough to deceive others. These individuals considered the movie to be crafty, but not entirely accurate. The discussion lasted over an extended period, spanning from the 1970s to the 1980s. Various scholars analyzed the movie through diverse approaches. Some grew more certain of its authenticity, while others maintained their belief in its falsity. Neither side could definitively confirm their stance. Researchers attempted to provide a rational explanation for the mysterious creature's existence. Speculations were made about the possibility of it being a bear ambulating on two legs. However, it was noted that bears do not have the same fluid movement pattern as depicted in the footage. Their physical structure is distinct, and their gait is not as stable when traversing long distances. Some people believed it could be a mysterious species of primate. However, there are no documented cases of apes inhabiting North America. The past presence of animals in this area does not include any significant primates resembling this creature. The existence of such a being would indicate a highly unusual event occurring in the distant past. An alternative suggestion was that it might be a species of prehistoric ape that managed to exist until the present day. A common example cited was a massive ape that used to inhabit Asia. Although this creature actually existed and is documented through fossils, there is no evidence to suggest it roamed in North America. Additionally, it probably walked on all fours rather than upright on two legs. Every concept faced challenges. None could adequately interpret the content of the movie. Each response appeared to have a gap in understanding. The confession that raised more questions. Greg Long, a researcher, gained widespread attention in 2002 when he published a book that delved into the mysteries surrounding a popular movie. His work sought to uncover the hidden details behind the film, proposing that it was not a spontaneous event, but rather a meticulously orchestrated plan. This theory generated intense interest and reinvigorated the ongoing discussion surrounding the movie's authenticity. Bob Hieronymus was the focal point of the tale, asserting his position as the individual concealed within the creature outfit featured in the movie. He claimed that Roger Patterson had invited him to participate in the scheme, instructing him to don the costume and stroll through the exposed space as Patterson captured it all on film. Hieronymus talked about the process of making the suit, attributing it to a costume designer named Philip Morris. According to him, the suit was constructed using basic materials such as foam and artificial fur. When the filming was completed, Hieronymus received payment and was instructed to remain silent about the events. Many individuals who were skeptical about the authenticity of the movie found this to be convincing evidence. It appeared that the mystery had been resolved once and for all. A person had come forward and confessed to being involved in the occurrence. It appeared to be the solution that everyone had been anticipating. As time went on, issues started to arise in this narrative. Hieronymus's account was inconsistent, with varying details in different conversations and interviews. He would offer one explanation at one point, then contradict himself later on, causing doubts about the credibility of his account. The costume maker's account also had discrepancies. Philip Morris provided varying explanations of his account. At times, he detailed one approach to creating the suit, while in other instances, he mentioned something different. These inconsistencies undermined the credibility of his statements. One more issue that arose was the absence of the suit. Hieronymus and Morris were unable to provide the costume they said was worn. They maintained that it was no longer available, without any means to verify its existence. This made it challenging to verify their statements or analyze the outfit's design. Afterwards, scientists attempted to replicate the movie, relying on the information provided. Talented clothing designers put in a lot of effort to produce comparable outfits according to the explanations offered. They recorded fresh adaptations in the expectation of mirroring what was depicted in the initial recording. However, the outcomes did not align. The remade versions appeared artificial, the motion lacked fluidity, and the physical form didn't quite fit. The hair did not flow as delicately. Even industry professionals admitted they were baffled by the surprisingly lifelike appearance achieved back then. An extra piece of information was introduced to the mystery. Bob Gimlin, who witnessed the recording, consistently stood by his narrative for numerous years. He persisted in asserting the reality of what they witnessed. There was no alteration in his recounting, and he did not benefit significantly from the footage. His unwavering testimony caused individuals to ponder cautiously before subscribing to the deceit theory. So what did the AI realize in the very end? Stick around. The moment technology looked closer than ever. In the beginning of 26, a groundbreaking element was introduced into the ongoing saga of the Patterson-Gimlin film. The footage had provoked debate, analysis, and speculation for a considerable period. However, a sophisticated system now had the opportunity to analyze it in a manner beyond human capability for the very first time. A new AI system known as Grok was granted the opportunity to analyze the movie in its most pristine and top-notch state to date. All details, actions, and scenes could now be observed with enhanced clarity, unlike previous views. This was not just an ordinary critique, but rather a fresh perspective on the film. The main purpose of the program was to analyze patterns in images objectively, without being influenced by existing debates or opinions about the film. It operated without any personal bias or preconceived notions, focusing solely on its assigned task of examining the footage and providing an explanation of what was observed. The initial task of Grok AI was to analyze every individual frame of the movie. Although the clip was brief, lasting under a minute, there was a wealth of detail to scrutinize during that short period. The software meticulously monitored the movements of the character, observing how its arms swayed and its legs moved forward. The system closely examined the coordination of body movements and analyzed the proportions of limbs and torso. By cross-referencing these attributes with existing knowledge of human and animal anatomy, the system determined the resemblance of the figure to any known entities. The system analyzed equilibrium as well. It observed the posture and movement of the character as it traversed the varied terrain in the video. The setting in the footage was rugged, with sand, gentle inclines, and irregular ground. Nevertheless, the character exhibited a smooth and measured gait. Grok AI determined the perceived distribution of body weight and the changes in weight distribution during each stride. Another crucial aspect of the research focused on examining the articulation of the joints. The technology monitored the movement of the shoulder, elbow, hip, and knee joints to evaluate the range of motion and coordination. The researchers analyzed these movements by comparing them to actual human gestures to determine any discrepancies. The research also focused on the ground. Grok AI investigated the way the feet made contact with the surface and the length of each step. It assessed whether the stride and positioning were appropriate for the specific terrain depicted in the movie. Every aspect was meticulously and thoroughly examined. The system examined the details of the figure's physique, focusing on the interaction of light with the hair and the natural movement of the hair. Authentic hair responds uniquely to light and movement, whereas artificial materials may appear rigid or unnatural. Grok AI specifically sought out these subtle distinctions during its analysis. The study extensively analyzed the face, with particular emphasis on a famous moment when the figure made a slight turn. The system carefully scrutinized the texture and form of the face, seeking out any indications of a mask or a concealed seam where a garment could be attached. It scoured for any clues that could uncover a straightforward explanation. This meticulous task required significant time to complete. The examination of numerous specifics throughout all aspects of the movie was carried out. A comprehensive representation of the character was compiled, not only focusing on a single moment, but considering the entire series of actions. After finishing the research, the findings caught many by surprise. The technology detected no indications of any tampering or modification to the movie. It seemed to be an authentic recording from the period it was created. This indicated that whatever was visible in the video had indeed occurred at that specific time. What caught the attention was the discovery made by the system regarding the actions of the character. The manner in which it moved was inconsistent with typical human motion. The size of its strides, the movement of its arms, and the sway of its hips all adhered to a sequence that deviated from regular human behavior. When individuals attempt to alter their walking pattern, they frequently demonstrate subtle indications of effort or instability. These manifestations may appear in the shifting of their body or the awkward movement of their arms. Grok AI did not observe any of these cues in the video. The character moved smoothly and fluidly throughout the entire duration. The equilibrium of the figure was noticeable as it walked effortlessly on rough terrain without any apparent need for adjustment. Observers remarked on how the body's weight seemed to be positioned slightly higher and more towards the front compared to that of a human, resulting in a confident and stable posture during movement. The body's shape was unlike that of a human. The arms seemed disproportionately longer compared to the legs. The body appeared robust and muscular. The intricate movement of the muscles beneath the surface hinted at a level of complexity that would be challenging to replicate using basic materials. The figure's hair exhibited subtle movements while in motion. These movements mimicked the realistic flow of hair cascading over muscles beneath the surface of the skin. The fluidity of the movement appeared organic and lifelike, rather than rigid or immobile. This introduction of fluidity added complexity to the mystery. The system examined the face, but did not detect any obvious indication of a mask. The skin appeared to be seamless and seamlessly attached to the rest of the body. Minute details in the texture implied that it was an inherent feature of the figure, rather than an external addition. A mystery that refuses to fade away. After a thorough examination of the film, the system came across an unexpected dilemma. It struggled to categorize the mysterious creature due to a lack of clear identification cues. The system carefully analyzed the creature's physical attributes, movements, and proportions. It cross-referenced these characteristics with various known animals, such as humans, apes, bears, and other sizable creatures. However, no perfect match or definitive conclusion could be reached. The character in the movie had an unusual appearance that deviated from the usual human physique. Its movements, the length of its arms, and the equilibrium of its body did not adhere to typical human behavior. Additionally, it did not resemble any known primate. The physique and gait of the character were distinct from those of apes. Furthermore, it did not resemble a bear either. While bears can briefly stand on two legs, they do not walk with the same steady and fluid motion as the character in the film. The system carefully examined all the information and came to a conclusion. According to its analysis, the movie features a huge creature walking on two legs, yet it cannot be identified as any known species. Additionally, the system confirmed that the video footage seems authentic and unaltered. Thus, the system concluded that the creature captured on camera was genuinely present at that particular moment and was not edited in afterwards. The system also observed that the entity appeared to be an actual living organism. There were no indications of it being a disguise or a mere illusion. The way it moved, its form, and its texture all hinted at something organic. Nonetheless, the system was unable to identify the specific type of creature it was. It was unable to classify it into any known species, as there is no existing category that precisely fits the characteristics observed. A profound and compelling query arose from this situation. If the results are accurate, it could mean the movie portrays something that science has not yet acknowledged. It might propose the existence of a significant, unidentified primate species in North America, either currently or in the past. This concept is both thrilling and challenging to embrace. If this information holds true, it also alters the way in which individuals perceive history. It suggests that the individual who captured the creature on film may not have fabricated a hoax, but rather documented something authentic. It also adds depth to the traditional tales passed down by indigenous communities over generations. These accounts described massive creatures inhabiting the woods, and now they appear more difficult to disregard. There are differing opinions on these discoveries. Some individuals are cautious and skeptical, asserting that even sophisticated systems are prone to errors. They argue that the accuracy of outcomes is reliant on the quality of information provided to the system, stating that incomplete data may lead to incomplete conclusions. They further clarify that the absence of a corresponding species in the database does not necessarily indicate the presence of a new species. It simply indicates a lack of match within the existing system. Other unexplored possibilities may exist. Their perspective is that the puzzle remains unsolved and continues to challenge understanding. Some individuals have a contrasting perspective on the outcomes. They argue that this research is the most thorough ever conducted on the movie. They are of the opinion that utilizing an impartial system enhances the credibility of the results. If such a system fails to detect any deception, it becomes more challenging to discredit the authenticity of the film without substantial evidence. The movie remains an enduring mystery, sparking ongoing debate and scrutiny. It is regarded as one of the most analyzed and debated pieces of evidence in history. The latest study only adds to the intrigue and significance surrounding this mysterious phenomenon. We have a basic understanding of the situation. An unidentified being was present in that area many years ago. It traversed the open terrain in a manner unlike any known creature. It was only observed for a short period before vanishing into the woods, sparking enduring inquiries. The research did not provide a definitive conclusion, nor did it resolve the argument. However, it did accomplish something equally significant. It demonstrated that the movie should be regarded with respect. It reinforced the idea that some issues are not straightforward. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe and also click the next video shown on your screen